Hello, friends. So here we are, week 7, very near to midterm. Anyhow, if you've been rocking the class, please continue to do so. If you've been humming your way through the class, please knock it off. Get better. Just bring it. You still have time in the semester to raise or lower your overall points and percentage. So keep pushing for the sky, friends. Anyhow, in week 7, you get to write your first tweets. I'm terrible on Twitter, you guys. I do all right with a blog post. I like long form. I can move hearts on Facebook if you need me to. I can come up with something pretty good on Instagram sometimes. But on Twitter, I'm a Twitter idiot. And I think it's because I'm not so good at short, soundbitey, snappy one-liner kind of stuff. And people who are really good at Twitter, they have a drafts folder where they work and work and work and delete and backspace and, they're not just sort of off the cuff that intelligent and witty and clever all the time. So really, as you consider this week, oh, I just have to write a Twitter thread. She said at least 5 tweets. By the way, feel free to do 20. Don't be shy. But if you're sort of like, I can do that really quickly. I'll start it at 9:45 p.m. on Sunday. Oh, God, please do it earlier in the week if you can. But also, carve out some space in your week to think about what you're going to do. Make a plan. Consider the scaffolding of the thread. Where are you going to start? How much can you say in that first tweet? How's the second one going to be a great continuation? So kind of think about how are you going to plan it out. You could sort of storyboard that thing before you actually write it and post it in the class. Whether or not you realized it last week when you were asked to find examples of good and bad tweets and kind of discuss what you liked and didn't like about each one, you in fact, as a class, were developing your own criteria for what you like to see in a tweet. So what I did as I was reading through the discussions, all the examples everyone posted, I kind of just cobbled together a list of the good stuff, the things you appreciate in a tweet, and the bad stuff. So what you're seeing right now are the things that you like the best when you go to Twitter and you see a tweet. So I just kind of did a really quick roundup, so I didn't polish it, and there was a lot of overlap. So sometimes I kind of condensed what like 3 students might have said. But I mean, let's be honest. What do we all like about Twitter? We like it when it's funny, don't we? Yeah. Funny Twitter's the best. Anyhow, I did make this list. So let's just quickly look here. You like tweets when we see support and social movements for oppressed peoples. So support for the social movements like the Arab Spring, Black Lives Matter. You also like to see support for oppressed peoples. Twitter can be a great place to boost, for example, trans causes. So it seemed from the class that came through. Some of you also noted that an excellent photo on Twitter, especially if you're promoting your business, like a good photo. So it seems like we have a lot of photographers in this class, lucky. But anyhow, the quality of your photo, just in terms of, do you have good lighting? Is it sort of a far away shot where, on a screen, if someone's looking at a tweet on the phone, is it like, I don't know, what's this picture? So you want a shot that translates well to phone viewing or screen viewing. So really consider if you're going to include a picture for any reason, whether or not you're promoting a business, that you really want a good photo. Here we go. We all like relatable and funny tweets. We kind of like when a tweet asks questions. It creates dialogue. It invites people to comment and it ups the engagement. We like it when a brand gets real. So we don't want our businesses to be all business all the time. We like it when our businesses are a little coming out of nowhere. You think, did Wendy's really just tweet that? Love Wendy's. So we enjoy it when a brand or a business kind of goes off script a little bit. We like positive, inspiring content that is laid out well, like in a list. Again, we like a good photo. We like clever tweets that make people laugh out loud when they see them. We like tweets that include facts when they're making a point that could be controversial. So let's say we're talking about coronavirus or something political. Bring in your facts. I love on Twitter the historian Kevin Cruz. I've mentioned him elsewhere in the class, but I love the fact that he goes after his opposition in a way where he deconstructs their argument by going to primary sources, and he includes photos of those, in 1913, here's this legislation that was passed. He puts the document with the tweet. Has great credibility. Including a twist so that a potentially inflammatory point becomes humorous. So that moment where you read a tweet and there's like a beat where it takes you a minute to realize what just happened. You're like, I know where this is going, and then you think, what? We love those kinds of tweets. Responsiveness to other tweets or engaging with other accounts. So, who you are as a Twitter user, it matters as well. Like engage, go back and forth, leave comments, retweet, all of that good stuff. We like tweets that spread awareness or do fundraising. We like tweets that open our eyes to unseen realities. I tell my family at least three times a week that everything I know I learned from Twitter. I would not be anywhere near I am in a lot of my understanding and thinking about issues, international, national, local, if I did not get on Twitter and do a bunch of doom scrolling before bed. But anyhow, I've learned so much because I'm able to hear other voices that I would not be exposed to in my daily life otherwise. So I really like that one, the opening the eyes to unseen realities, good one. Uplifting or paying back success, yes. We like tweets that have been proofread. All right. We like tweets that tie into nostalgia. I actually deliberately follow some accounts that are like 1970s sports or whatever. Not that I'm a big sports person, but I love seeing the footage, that I remember being on TV when I was a little kid. So anything that taps into nostalgia does pretty well on Twitter. We like to see hashtags for keywords. Yeah, hashtagging is big and important. And I would definitely say consider your hashtags for your Twitter thread this week. Use those hashtags on all your tweets. We like the way that Twitter can help us keep up with current events and breaking news. Yeah. We like simple humor. We like low drama. And we like tweets that when a tweet pivots off of recent events. And then finally, I think it's fair to say that the world in general likes any tweet or anything on social media that has to do with dogs, cats, animals, pets, and soft, furry, fuzzy things. Then there's the flip side. There's the tweets that we hate that make us crazy. So the criteria that came out of the discussion last week when you gave examples, what do we think are poor tweets, bad tweets? What are we like? Why did you even? Tweets that are baffling. Sometimes you read a tweet and you think, I don't get this. Like, what? Why did this person? And I mean, sometimes that's on us because we're a little dim. But sometimes it's sort of like the person who tweeted it had no sense of who their audience is or how this message would land with the audience out there. So you always have to be really aware, picture those readers on the other side of the screen. Is this going to make sense to someone in Omaha who's 30 years older than you are? I mean, maybe you don't care, but so try not to be baffling. We don't like tweets that lacked context or substance. So even though they're short, we kind of like a tweet that makes sense within the terms of its own world, where the context of Twitter, but also just like in a sentence or two or a phrase where you can conjure a whole world that makes sense and actually has genuine content. We really don't like tweets with poor editing and poor spelling. We don't like misused hashtags or trying to use an important hashtag just to be cute. We had some good examples of that last week of like using an important hashtag like Me Too, but using it for some stupid personal something or like a company using it wrongly. So, kind of check out your hashtags too. Like hashtag something, but click on it, see what other tweets show up for that hashtag. And are you being inappropriate? We don't like tweets that are purposely argumentative or provocative. I'm so tired. I mean, that's what social media does too often. And I think 201 in this class, we've all just been like not interested in the anger and the drama and the conflict. We want our social media to be a happy place, a field of flowers we bound across in slow motion. So we don't really like content that is hyper specific, where only a small subset of readers understands what is even going on in the tweet. So, sometimes if you're tweeting about the video game you're playing, and you want to talk about the one part of the world where the thing happens, maybe there's a private forum for that somewhere. Perhaps it's not Twitter. We do not like, and I'm not pointing at any government officials as I say this, we do not like misinformation and divisiveness. Relatedly, we don't like tweets that use all caps because it feels like it's yelling at us. We don't like tweets that require readers to do extra work just to figure out what the tweet is about. Ties back to the first point of being baffling. Like, make sure your messaging lands well and that it makes sense to people outside of yourself. We don't like accidental posting. It's always good to go back. So often I post something that I spent a lot of time on, and then an hour or two later I go back and look at it, and I see an edit. I see like a typo. Even that kind of stuff makes me crazy. So the fact that sometimes you post to the wrong account is a big eek. We don't like confusing tweets. We hate it when people are bragging or full of themselves, unless there's a good dose of self-deprecation along with that, right? We do not like tweets that are trying to make others feel bad about themselves. And we don't like tweets that include personal information like credit card numbers, and definitely like phone numbers, addresses. We don't want to compromise anyone's safety, so no doxing in our tweets, right? We hate tweets that have no point. We don't like it when businesses get political. I think there's an argument that could be made there on both sides, actually, but I take this point. We hate unsupported nonsense parading as intelligence. Again, why do you keep thinking that I'm talking about any specific government official? I'm just rounding up the criteria you guys developed. We don't like attention-seeking tweets. We hate the toxic world that Twitter can become. And we don't like cliche kind of tweets or sentiments that are expressed. So try to be original when you are tweeting. And I think the thing everyone hates the most is that Twitter at its worst fuels hate and negativity. And we're not into that. So this week, as you are put on the spot to create your own tweets for the first time, you might want to look at these criteria, consider them, get them in your head, and think, err on the side of facts, good information, humor if possible, positivity. If you're super desperate, of course you attach a picture of your kitty. And on the other side, don't bring the drama. Don't be toxic. Don't bash others. Don't brag about yourself unless, of course, you're just that great. Even then, don't. So you could use your tweets to boost someone else. I love tweets that explain something in history, like Twitter threads. I love Twitter threads that go through the steps of making a recipe, but it should be something that people wouldn't know about outside of, this particular, it shouldn't be something you're just finding in recipe books. So maybe it's your own particular special way of making instant ramen into something that's fantastic and fascinating. I'm thinking of my own son. He's 17. And he uses our instant ramen packages every day. I'm like, what is he even going to do now? He does the special like soft boiled eggs and stuff, but like he'll break all the noodles into little pieces and put them in an omelet pan with little water, and then he steams it, and then and then it's going to be fluffed, and it's going to have this, and you're going to add this, and then the sriracha goes in, and all that kind of stuff. So that'd be a great Twitter thread, like how to make a very original ramen. But also I love it when a Twitter thread tells a good story. Kind of starts with so you won't even believe what happened tonight. And then tweet after tweet, the story unfurls. It's a delight. So do some thinking. And as soon as you feel like you've got a little plan in place, please write up your thread and get it posted. I'm excited about the potential of this assignment. So, no pressure, but please don't disappoint me. Okay? Yeah? Okay.